Elden Ring is a 2022 action role-playing game for the PlayStation 4 and 5, Windows, and Xbox One, X, and S. Elden Ring was directed by Hidetaka Miyazaki, but the world building was provided by Game of Thrones creator George R.R. Martin. Some staff from the Game of Thrones television series actually assisted in Elden Ring's development. The game was developed by From Software. The game was created with an open-world Dark Souls in mind. This led to a more expansive environment that allowed the player much more exploration and freedom. Elden Ring received universal high praise. The open-world mechanic received acclaim, as many players loved the ability to explore the vast landscape of the lands between. Elden Ring has been noted as one of the best video games of all time, with multiple Game of the Year awards under its belt. Players control a completely customized character in third-person perspective. There are 10 class options when you start the game, each adorned with their own individual equipment and skill sets. What each class is equipped with helps you decide their story, and also provides them with some defining features. Your class option helps determine what kind of character build you are aiming for in the long game. The class options are the Hero, which is a strength-based class, the Bandit, which excels in ranged combat, the Astrologer, which is a very good mage startup, the Warrior, which has high dexterity in medium physical stats, the Prisoner, which is known as the best build for dexterity and intelligence builds that need more strength, the Confessor, which is not the most optimal choice, as it's a typical paladin choice that is outranked by other starting classes, the Wretch, which is the weakest starting class for those who want a more challenging playthrough, the Vagabond, which is the tank class, best for strength and dexterity builds, the Prophet, which is the best class for those looking to focus on incantations, and the Samurai, which is the best class for a pure dexterity build. My personal choice is always Vagabond. Elden Ring is set in the magnificent world of the Lands Between. The Lands Between is home to many biomes and many different realms. Each of these regions are beautifully detailed with their own flora and fauna. Limgrave is the first area of the game. This is a temperate biome of vast plains and golden-leaved trees. To the north are the windswept hills of Stormhill. To the south is the ever-reigning Weeping Peninsula. The main dungeon of this region is Stormvale Castle. Stormvale Castle is clearly inspired by medieval methods of architecture. There is very clear Gothic and Romanesque influence, but on a massive scale. The castle is very imposing, and it sets the mood for the battle you're about to face. Stormvale Castle is absolutely breathtaking, and is perfect for a region such as Limgrave. In the westernmost region of the Lands Between is Lernia of the Lakes. This region is sinking into the lakes and is coated in a thick, foggy forest. The western coast is home to Caria Manor, a heavily guarded mini-dungeon. Much like Stormvale Castle, Caria Manor is very medieval with Gothic and Romanesque elements. The main dungeon of Lernia of the Lakes is the Academy of Raya Lucaria. This academy is extremely Gothic in architecture. The defining rose window and the tall spires show its rich Gothic influence. The interior is very dark academic, and creates an eerie atmosphere for your entire time spent there. The academy is enormous and utterly breathtaking, perfect for a region like Lernia of the Lakes. Caelid is a disgusting wasteland on the southeastern tip of the Lands Between. Caelid is my personal least favorite region of the Lands Between. Why? Because everything is trying to kill you and nothing is pretty. Caelid is plagued by scarlet rot, which has deformed its land and inhabitants. The creatures in Caelid are absolutely revolting, and show just how much of an effect scarlet rot has had on Caelid as a whole. What structures remain in Caelid reflect the overall medieval theme of the Lands Between architecture. The red coloring of Caelid adds to its already off-putting atmosphere. Caelid is a nightmare of a region in the Lands Between. In the northwestern region of the Lands Between is the Altus Plateau. The Altus Plateau is home to the omnipresent Erd Tree. At the foot of the Erd Tree is the royal capital of Leyendell. Gold details coat the city, matching the powerful golden Erd Tree. The architecture feels very classical and Roman, and is reminiscent of great Roman civilizations. Gothic influence is evident as well, similar to the other regions in the Lands Between. Leyendell is a hauntingly beautiful landscape, and it reminds the player of the effects of the Shattering. The Round Table Hold is an area separate from the Lands Between in Elden Ring. The Round Table Hold is a bit of a hub location, where you can speak to NPCs, upgrade weapons, and make use of other services. The Round Table Hold shows Elden Ring's medieval influence yet again with its architecture. The table being round itself is very reminiscent of Arthur's Round Table, another nod to medieval history. This is a very cool hub area with lots to explore and much information to get. Elden Ring is an absolute masterpiece of a game. The rich atmospheres and beautiful medieval architecture create an unforgettable gaming experience. Elden Ring deserves all of the acclaim it receives and more. This is the Art of Elden Ring.